Okay, just think for a second about that amazing gadget in your pocket, your smartphone. And specifically, its camera. I mean, it's way beyond just snapping a quick photo these days, right?
Yeah.
We're actually talking about a massive global industry here, billions of dollars, and it's growing, like, really fast. So today, we're diving deep into the global cameras on smartphones market. We've got a load of research here looking specifically at how it's set to, well, explode over the next decade or so. It should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And our goal here, is to really unpack what's going on. What are the key trends driving this? Find some surprising stories in different regions, and maybe most importantly, figure out what these huge numbers actually mean for you, the person using the phone. How does it really change how you capture things, how you share things? And just so you know, all the solid data we're using today is from Cognitive Market Research, because it's a really good base.
And when we say huge numbers, we definitely mean it. Let's just paint the big picture globally first. Back in 2021, the revenue from smartphone cameras was around $4.09 billion, dollars, give or take. But look ahead to 2033. That number is forecast to just skyrocket past $10.74 billion. Dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's more than doubling in, what, 12 years? That's a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 8.382%. Pretty impressive.
It really is. And what's super interesting, and the research backs this up, are the reasons why. It's not just, slightly better cameras each year. First off, there's just this huge consumer demand for really high performance photos and videos from phones. We're way past just counting megapixels now. Now it's all about like computational photography, bigger sensors somehow squeezed into these thin phones, AI doing amazing things with images,
Yeah.
turning a dark, grainy shot into something great with just a tap.
That's such a good point. It's the smarts behind the lens, too. And that kind of leads into the second big driver, right? This whole 5G thing enabling new kinds of content creation.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
5G isn't just faster Netflix. For cameras, it means your phone becomes like a portable studio. Think about it, super low latency, massive bandwidth.
Hmm.
You could upload huge video files instantly, maybe even edit collaboratively in real time or stream, I don't know, 8K video live right from your pocket.
Wild.
It totally changes what you can do with that camera. And then kind of underpinning everything is just how integrated our digital lives have become. We live online, basically. And the camera is, well, it's our main way of sharing that life.
Okay, right. So, given all that momentum, let's break it down. Where is this growth really kicking into high gear around the world? Let's do a quick tour. Could be quite revealing.
Yeah, let's do it. If we zoom in regionally, Asia Pacific really jumps out. It's definitely the most dynamic region, as the report calls it. It's leading the pack, basically.
Yeah.
Biggest slice of the revenue. It started at about $1.65 billion back in 21, projected to hit over $4.6 billion by 2033.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a CAGR getting close to 9%. Really strong.
And inside APAC, there are some fascinating stories, right? China obviously is huge already. It's set to almost triple its market to nearly $1.3 billion. dollars. But India's growth is maybe even more striking, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Even though it started smaller, its market's also set to more than triple. And it has the highest TG on the region, almost 10%. 9.913% to be exact.
That's incredible.
It really shows that mobile-first leapfrogging effect. For millions, the phone is their main computer, so they want great cameras for social media, everything.
Makes sense. And you also mentioned Singapore and Southeast Asia.
Right, also very strong performers,
Yeah.
both showing CAGRs over 9% too. Singapore at 9.417%, Southeast Asia slightly higher at 9.528%. Just very dynamic across the board there.
Okay, let's shift gears. What about South America?
South America's looking pretty solid too, consistent growth. The market there is also expected to more than double, showing a healthy 8.7% CAGR. So going from just under $240 million in 2021 to nearly $650 million by 2033.
And within that region, any standouts?
Well, Brazil definitely has the largest market size. Its revenue is projected to grow quite a bit, hitting around $226 million. But interestingly, Argentina actually shows a really notable growth rate, over 9.2% annually. So a strong demand there, too, for better mobile cameras.
Interesting. Okay, moving on. Middle East.
Middle East is also expanding significantly. Pretty much mirrors the global trend, actually. It's got an 8.586% CAGR. So that market is growing from about $192 million to over $500 million, $517 million, roughly.
And is leading there.
Saudi Arabia has the highest revenue projected to grow from about $52 million to over $142 million.
Okay.
But the UAE actually has the highest growth rate in that region, an impressive 9.253%. So yeah, another regional powerhouse driving things.
Right. Now let's swing over to North America. Its growth rate might seem a bit steadier, maybe not quite as explosive as Asia, but the market size is just enormous, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely colossal. Yeah, the CAGR is a solid 7.7%, but you're starting from a much bigger base. In
Hmm.
2021, it was already over $1 billion, $1.075 billion. And that's projected to grow to over $2.6 billion by 2033.
And the U.S. is the giant within that.
By far. The U.S. market alone is expected to go from nearly $875 million to over $2.1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. But Canada's no slouch either. It's actually showing really impressive growth, over 8.4% annually. So even in a mature market like North America, people still want the latest and greatest camera tech.
Okay, Europe. How does it stack up?
Europe's definitely on a solid growth path, too. Its CAGR is about 7.89%, so it's set to expand from just over $820 million to more than $2 billion by 2033.
And Germany seems to be leading the way there.
That's right. Germany has the highest revenue among European countries, projected to nearly triple, actually, hitting over $420 million. And it's got a strong CAGR to back that up, about 8.6%. Shows real strength in a big, tech-savvy economy.
Interesting. Are there any contrasts within Europe worth noting?
Well, yeah, it's interesting if you look across the board. For instance, Russia's CAGR, while still growing, is noticeably lower than some others in Europe, around 6.5%. So that might hint at, different market conditions or maybe slower adoption rates for the very latest tech there compared to, say, Germany.
Gotcha. Okay, last stop on our tour, Africa.
Right, Africa.
Yeah.
Also showing a healthy rise, we're seeing a 7.854% CAGR there. Revenue growing from just over $114 million to a projected $307 million or so.
And any specific drivers there?
South Africa is definitely a key player on the continent. Its smartphone camera market is projected to grow from almost $49 million to nearly $140 million. So yeah, strong momentum there too. Digital life becomes more and more integrated across Africa.
Okay, so we've crunched the numbers, toured the globe, looked at growth rates, but let's bring it back. What does all this actually mean for us? For you, the person listening? How does this data really connect to our everyday lives with these incredibly powerful cameras we carry around?
Yeah, that's really the key question, isn't it?
Hmm.
When you boil it all down, all this strong growth we're seeing, it's basically a direct mirror of how our digital lives are evolving, and fast. It's not just about more phones being sold. It signals that we're relying on these devices more and more for, well, everything.
Yeah.
From just grabbing quick snapshots to creating pretty sophisticated content.
Right.
So the market isn't just getting bigger in terms of volume, it's getting more sophisticated because we demand more. We want better tools for our creativity, for communication. These trends basically mean that the phone in your hand, or the one you buy in a few years, is becoming less like a phone with a camera and more like a really smart, high-performance imaging device first.
Mhm.
And that's fundamentally changing how we see, record, and share our world.
Absolutely. That sums it up perfectly. The main takeaway is super clear. This market, cameras on smartphones, isn't just growing, it's really transforming. We're seeing it more than double leaping from about $4.1 billion to over $10.7 billion. That's huge.
And just to reiterate, the core reasons behind that jump are pretty powerful, right? It's that constant push for better mobile photos and videos, the impact of 5G making new things possible, and just how deeply digital living is woven into everything we do now.
So thinking about that massive growth, that relentless tech advancement, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What will the smartphone camera actually be capable of in 2033? How much further can it redefine photography or content creation, even just for capturing your own personal moments? Definitely something to think about next time you pull out your phone.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're zooming in on something pretty fascinating, the incredible evolution of cameras, the ones right on our smartphones. This deep dive is actually based on a recent market research report looking into the smartphone camera market. And, well, what it reveals about this rapidly changing landscape is quite something.
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission today really is to pull out the most vital insights from that report. We're looking at the key drivers, the challenges too, and the emerging trends that are really shaping this whole dynamic industry. Because for you, the listener, it's clear the smartphone camera isn't just another feature anymore, is it? It's become, well, pretty central to tech innovation and, frankly, a huge part of your everyday life.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. Why are smartphone cameras just exploding in popularity like this?
The report really points to the main driver being this ever-increasing demand for, like, superior mobile photography. It feels like our phones have completely taken over from traditional cameras for capturing, well, almost every moment. Right. And what's truly remarkable here isn't just the demand exists, but how manufacturers are racing to meet it. It's quite the race. They're investing heavily, pushing the boundaries of physics, really, inside these tiny devices. We're talking higher resolution sensors, incredible improvements in low-light performance, and this fascinating area called computational photography.
Computational photography. Okay.
Yeah, and consumers now, they genuinely expect almost DSLR-level image quality and top-tier camera performance, too, even from, mid-range smartphones, whether you're documenting family holidays, snapping photos for a travel blog, or creating content. That expectation is just there.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The huge influence of social media and this whole content creation boom. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. They haven't just popped up, they've created an entire visual-first culture that's constantly demanding more.
Exactly. And this visual-centric culture isn't just about sharing snapshots. It's actively driving specific technical demands. Think about it. You need crystal clear selfies, maybe for video calls or just posts. You need perfectly stabilized vlogs for YouTube, right? Or short-form video that has to look polished straight out of the phone.
Yeah, no time for editing sometimes.
Precisely. So because of this, features like, say, 4K video, AI beautification modes, advanced filters, they're not just premium extras anymore. They're pretty much fundamental expectations, baked right into the software, the hardware.
And it's not just about having one impressive lens anymore, is it? We're seeing this really powerful combination of AI and multi-camera systems. It feels like magic sometimes.
It really does. A typical smartphone camera setup today, it often includes a whole suite of lenses. You'll usually find a wide angle for landscapes, maybe a macro for those super close-up shots, and crucially, something like a periscope zoom lens.
Periscope zoom.
Yeah.
How does that work in a thin phone?
Yeah, it's clever. The periscope design basically folds light sideways, using prisms or mirrors inside the phone's body. This lets them achieve much longer optical zoom ranges without needing a bulky lens sticking out.
Oh, okay. Clever.
Very. But what makes these multi-lens systems truly powerful, though, is the AI. It's the brain. You have algorithms enhancing image quality, adjusting lighting conditions in real time, delivering professional-looking photos with, honestly, minimal effort from you. This hardware-software synergy. It's really blurring the lines between smartphones and traditional cameras. It's attracting both casual users and increasingly even seasoned professional content creators.
So we've talked about this incredible growth, this innovation. It sounds almost unstoppable. But, well, even an unstoppable force usually runs into some hurdles, right? What are the significant limitations or maybe restraints holding back even faster growth in this market, according to the report?
Well, what's fascinating here is that, despite all the innovation, the laws of physics still bite. Smartphone cameras are, at their core, limited by their compact sensors. They're tiny. And while they've come leaps and bounds, smaller sensors still inherently mean more digital noise, especially in very low light, and less pure optical zoom compared to, say, dedicated cameras with much larger optics.
Right, so physics is still a barrier.
It is. So for really highly specialized professional applications, think large-scale commercial photography, maybe cinema-level video production, DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, they still have an edge, a definite edge.
And there's an economic hurdle, too, I imagine. All this advanced tech. It must cost a lot, escalating costs.
Absolutely. Integrating these cutting-edge technologies like optical image stabilization, OIS, or custom AI imaging processors and those clever periscope lenses, it all significantly increases the manufacturing costs. Well, unfortunately, these costs often get passed right on to consumers in the final price of the phone. And this can potentially alienate, price-sensitive segments of the market. Think about maybe a small business owner. They rely on their phone for high-quality product photos, perhaps. If they can only afford a budget device, they might be at a significant disadvantage compared to competitors using premium camera phones.
Yeah, that creates a kind of digital divide almost in camera quality access.
Exactly. A digital divide based purely on camera capability, especially hitting budget and mid-tier users.
Okay, and then there's a conversation that, well, we can't really ignore, especially as these cameras get more and more powerful. The sensitive issue of privacy and surveillance.
This raises a really important question for all of us, actually. The rapid advancement of technologies like facial recognition, super high-resolution zoom capabilities, AI-based tracking, while they offer convenience, they also raise real red flags around ethics and data security.
How so? Like, give us an example.
Well, imagine a scenario where maybe a high-resolution photo taken in a public space could, theoretically, be used. used to identify and perhaps even track individuals without their direct consent, just from that image data. And this possibility has led governments and various watchdog organizations to start scrutinizing these technologies much more closely.
So regulation could be coming.
It could, potentially leading to stricter regulations that might impact how future devices are designed, how they're built, how they're sold. It's a developing area.
That's certainly something to keep an eye on. Okay, let's pivot a bit now and look towards the horizon, the key trends shaping the next generation of smartphone cameras. What's coming down the pipeline that's particularly exciting?
Yeah, good question. If we connect this to the bigger picture, one really exciting area is the shift towards foldables and also under-display cameras.
The foldables are definitely changing things.
They are. They're completely redefining form factors, right? Offering these larger screens that you can still pocket. And then under-display technology that aims to eliminate those distracting notches and punch holes entirely, giving you a truly full-screen experience.
Finally.
Exactly. But the ongoing challenge for manufacturers, of course, is maintaining that top-tier imaging performance even with these radical innovations. It's a balancing act between stunning aesthetics and, well, uncompromised functionality,
Yeah.
especially for the camera hidden under the screen.
Tricky. And it's not just about still photos anymore, is it? You mentioned video earlier. We're seeing the rise of genuinely professional-level video capabilities right in our pockets.
Precisely. That's a huge trend. Smartphones are now seriously equipped to shoot cinematic quality videos. We're talking about features like HDR10 Plus for incredible dynamic range in the video, extensive manual controls that really empower the user, giving them creative freedom, advanced stabilization that makes shaky footage, a thing of the past, and even direct support for external microphones for better audio.
Wow. Okay, so it's becoming a real production tool.
Absolutely. It's transforming the phone into a full-fledged, portable content creation studio. This is particularly popular among vloggers, indie filmmakers, but also just everyday storytellers wanting better quality.
And finally, let's circle back to that ongoing revolution in computational photography and AI integration. It often feels like the phone is doing things, well, things that seem almost magical behind the scenes.
It absolutely does feel that way sometimes. The AI is doing so much of the heavy lifting now. We're seeing things like night modes that can turn an almost pitch black scene into a vibrant, surprisingly detailed image, real-time bokeh effects, that portrait blur, giving you stunning portraits without needing a huge lens.
Yeah, the background blur is amazing now.
Isn't it? And then there's instant skin tone optimization, incredibly accurate scene recognition that adjusts all the settings automatically for you. This technological leap, it isn't just enhancing image quality, that's part of it, but it's fundamentally making professional-grade photography and videography accessible to pretty much anyone with a smartphone. It's putting incredible creative power right into your hands.
So, wrapping this up, as we've explored today, the cameras on smartphones market is just undergoing this unprecedented transformation. What seems undeniable based on the report and just what we see is that the camera is no longer just, a feature on your phone. It's really become the absolute centerpiece of mobile innovation and a pivotal factor in how you, the consumer, make decisions.
Exactly. And as we've discussed, knowledge like this is most valuable when it's not just consumed, but really understood, maybe even applied. There's always more to learn in this space. It moves so fast. And considering multiple perspectives definitely enriches our understanding. Critical thinking is key.
So a final thought for you, our listener, to maybe mull over as you reflect on all of this. Consider how the relentless advancement, the sheer omnipresence of these incredibly sophisticated cameras might continue to shape your daily life. How it shapes your expectations around capturing moments, your privacy concerns, perhaps even your understanding of reality itself, especially as AI continues to do more and more of that heavy lifting behind the scenes, creating images that are increasingly optimized, maybe even altered. How might your own relationship with your smartphone camera evolve next? Something to think about.